Hello, everyone. Darren here, and this episode of Derren Talks is about reskins and add cross tank mode basically just adding tanks in both World War II and Cold War. Um, so with reskins, we all know people did not like them. They were people like it seemed like a money grab to some people, yet at the same time they weren't forcing you to buy them. In most cases, a couple months down the line, they'd add the naked version of the reskin. It was just an alternate theme for the tank, um, because at the time also they could not actually add skins. The game could did not support that. Um, so knowing that now, I don't really have a problem with the reskins. And to be honest, there were some reskins that actually caused me to buy a tank that I would never have bought if it didn't have that skin. And I'm looking at you, HMH 1357 and HMH M51, the Israeli themed tanks. Because if they just came as is with no skins, I never would have bought them. I never would have looked at them. But, the idea of having some Israeli themed tanks, a nation that so far has not been represented in World of Tanks ever at all, does interest me. So, yeah. Now, again, for the most part, people looked at reskins negatively. And then when 6.0 came, and then we got Modern Armor, Cold War, and 7.0, they introduced the T55A into Cold War, and that caused quite a stir among the community because they expected the 55A to be added to World War II because it was a Tier 9 premium on PC. So once the community kind of like, hey, we want this in World War II, kind of got me like into the idea of trying to add tanks from Cold War to World War II. I'm not talking about adding Abrams. Do not argue that. I know very well that as far as I can go is really like Tier 1 of Era 2 is as far as I could actually even push the boundary of adding tanks from Cold War to World War II. So please don't comment stupid things like, don't add the Abrams. They're never going to, because I'm well aware and I don't want an Abrams in World War II. Okay? All right. There we go. That little tangent done off the line, hopefully to stop people from commenting just wacky arguments like that. But back on topic here, my thought though, because even though there are plenty of people like me that are like, ooh, the NM116. I've asked this for years on the forums for this to be added as a premium tank because they have this weird looking Stuart Brazilian look like type thing as a mercenary tank. We got a Chaffee. We could just throw a gun into the Chaffee and call it an NM116. Blah blah blah. Well, and then they come out with the NM116, a tank that I would really, really, really like to see in World War II. So, my question though for this is: do you view um, implementing tanks across both modes, regardless of how they're implemented, like Tech Tree, Premium, doesn't matter how they are compared to the other modes, but do you view that as equivalent to reskins, or do you view that as kind of just trying to cater to the community split? Because I know there are other people like out there like me that do want nothing to do with Cold War. They won't even look at it. I've stated this publicly that I'm not doing any first looks streams of premium tanks regarding Cold War because it's not my world of tanks. And I know there are other people out there like me that share that same sentiment. It's not their world of tanks. They don't want to play it. They don't care. They're going to stay in World War II. And again, that's not everybody, but that there are people out there like me. So, do you view that? Do you view the implementation of premium or tech tree tanks across both modes as reskinning, being money grabbing, whatever your argument is with that? Or do you view it as just kind of like trying to cater to the community split and add unique content across both modes? Um, this was a topic up for discussion a while back that, again, I was meaning to cover, just very busy. And now that I got free time, I can discuss this. Personally, for me, I view it as just trying to cater to both communities. Because, again, I'm never going to touch Cold War. But there are tanks in Cold War that I really want to play. But I'm not going to touch them because they're in Cold War. So, I would love for them to add them into the World War II. You know, if I had them in Cold War and I could go and buy them again in World War II, I probably would. Um, but again, not everyone shares the same thoughts as me. So I am curious to know your thoughts on it. And I'm going to restate the question again, just so that way it stays fresh in people's heads. Or if they're, you know, typing away as they listen anyway. But again, the question is, do you view implementing the same tank across both modes, regardless of if it's tech tree or premium, um, as being a money grabbing, money scheme type of thing? Or do you view it as just simply trying to cater to the community split? Um, I'm interested in, again, hearing your thoughts on this. I told you my thoughts on it. I can kind of see the arguments for both sides. But again, personally, I view it as just trying to cater to the community that is not going to touch World War II. No, touch Cold War, but really wants to see them added to World War II. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this Derren Talks. This is actually pretty quick. I had a lot of I had a lot of clips ready for this one. But that's going to do it for today's video. I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you enjoy this video and you want to see more like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon and like button. Um, but other than that, take it easy. Happy holidays, and until next time, this has been Derren of WotC Academy.